Hello there, and I welcome you once again to another segment today on newspaper review here in First News Port Accord. I am your humble host, Kings Ojalo. I will be taking you straight to all newspaper headlines in all our newspaper platform in Nigeria. Now let's head straight to our first newspaper segment for today, which is the Daily Monitor. On the Daily Monitor, we have a highlighted story: Tinubu signs death warrant on credible elections in Nigeria, ADC says. Now on the top of the Daily Monitor, we have terrorists kill over 30 people in Kebbi, destroy 7 villages. Now on the bottom line, Pagasin cautions against political interference in oil industry. Now let's go to the Daily Independence. On the Daily Independence, on the highlighted story, we have NCAT's dormant B737 simulator cost millions in maintenance. Now on the top of the Daily Independence newspaper, experts urge policy sequencing to safeguard Nigeria agri value chain. We also have on that area, CSO's ADC condemned Tinubu signing of Electoral Act 2026. Now going to the bottom line of the Daily Independence, FG moves to sanctions contractors involved in fiber cable cuts. Now going to the next newspaper platform, which is the Punch newspaper. On the Punch newspaper, we have on the highlighted story, FG state local government allocation may increase by 15 trillion naira. You find that in page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Now on the top of the Punch newspaper, in page 29, we have FG defers 70% of 25 capital budget to 2026. Still on that, we also have Ayudetuwa versus Tunji Ojo, political cold war sparks killing violence in Ondo. You find that in page 3 of the Punch newspaper. Now going to the Daily Trust. On the Daily Trust, we have CSOs opposition raised against electoral acts. Now on the top, we have ICPC rates El Rufai Abuja resident. You find that in page 7 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Still on the Daily Trust, we have FCT council's pool. Our PDP candidate withdrew from race. FCT council pools. Our PDP candidate withdrew from race. Yes. Looking at the council election in Abuja, now we are being told that the PDP candidates withdraw from race, probably due to the internal crisis facing the political party system. Now coming to Rivers State. On Rivers State, Rivers Assembly suspends impeachment plot against Fubara and the deputy. That is a good one and a good hearing for Rivers State, where the governor has escaped impeachment processes raised by the State House of Assembly. Now, still on that, gunmen attack Kebbi communities, kill 35. Gunmen attack Kebbi communities, kill 35. Another sad one from Kebbi, recall where an incident occurred in that same state where students of some Islamic school were adopted. Now currently another 35 have been killed in that same state. A sad one there from the North Central. Now going to the Guardian newspaper. On the Guardian newspaper, we have our oldest president tighten grip on youngest continent. Our oldest president tighten grip on youngest continent. That is one of the highlighted story in the Guardian newspaper. Now on the top of the Guardian newspaper, we have retract executive order. Pagasi tells Tinubu warns of threats to PIA. You find that in page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Now still on the top, we have NLC fires back at APGC. Gen costs over 6 trillion ballot demand. You find that in page 3 of that newspaper platform. Now we also have on the top, still in page 3, Senate grills economic team, consider trimming 2026 budget. Now on the right side of the Guardian newspaper, we also have Lakurawa terrorist kills 34 in Kebbi community. You find that in page 30. Now the US, also looking at the US news, US troops deployment to fight insecurity in national interest, says House of Rep. You find that in page 30 of the Guardian newspaper. Now we also have on the Matrix, yes, a lot of stories covering the Matrix newspaper, which we have on the highlighted and the popular news coming up recently. Again, Fubara escape impeachment. Fubara escape impeachment. Now, still on that newspaper platform on the top, NCAA, Nigeria records significant gain as ICAO WACAF wipes up technical assistant mission. Yes, that is on the top of the matrix newspaper. Now, on the right side of the matrix, outrage as ICPC raids Nasri El-Rufai resident in Abuja. Yes, the probe raised against the former Kaduna State Governor Nasri El-Rufai. Now, recently, his house has been raided in Abuja. We could recall yesterday where he was released by the EFCC and intercepted by another institution called the ICPC. A very tough one for El-Rufai there. Now we'll be going straight ahead. Still on the matrix, we have Osun APC dismisses Oyelola's claim of presidency pressure on Adeleke. You find that in page 9. Now looking at the Super Eagles coach, we're talking about Chile. Super Eagles boss Chile tables 90-point contract proposal. Now we find that in page 25 of that newspaper platform. Now in page 3 of the matrix newspaper on the bottom, court adjourns DSS syrup defamation suit for judgments. Now going straight to the Peak newspaper. On the Peak newspaper, we have on the highlighted one, Governor Ayedatiwa commissions multiple roads in Akure. Yes, a good one there from Odo State. Now going to the top of the Peak newspaper, 2 killed as container truck collide on Oshodi Apapa Expressway. Oh, that is a very sad one in Lagos State. Now, still on that, Caleb University graduates 1,924 students in 15th convocation. Congratulations to those who just graduated from the Caleb University. Now going to the INEC. INEC enlists EFCC ICPC to tackle vote buying in FCT poll. Yes, recently the INEC institution called for the interference of the ICPC and the EFCC to engage in vote buying in the FCT electoral pool. Now going to the Blueprint newspaper. On the Blueprint, on the highlighted, diaspora remittance to hit $1 billion monthly distortion corrected. Diaspora remittance to hit $1 billion monthly distortions corrected. Now, still on that newspaper platform on the top, Rivers Assembly halt impeachment move against Fubara. Now we also have NAFDAC seals 18 warehouse, sees 100 million expired food in Bida, that is in Niger State recently. Now on the bottom line of the Blueprint newspaper, terrorists kill 34 fasting Muslim in Kebbi latest attack. Some headlines say 35, while the Blueprint mentions 34. Now let's go straight to the New Telegraph. On the New Telegraph newspaper, Electoral Law 2026, CSO slams NAS, Tinubu warns of grave risks to 2027 polls. I'll take that again. Electoral Law 2026, CSOs slam NAS, Tinubu warns of grave risks to 2027 polls. You find that in page 3, 6, 27, and 28 of that newspaper platform. Now, on the top of the newspaper, we have so many trendy stories, which we have cash transaction ban. FAN insists on February 28th deadline. You find that in page 4. And also we have NAFDAC seals 18 warehouses over expired food products in Niger State. You find that in page 7 of that newspaper platform. Now, we also have Tinubu's executive order will still growth. That is coming from Pagasin. Take that again. Tinubu executive order will still growth, coming from Pagasin. You find that in page 25 of that newspaper platform. Now, on the bottom line of the New Telegraph, we have deadly attack. Terrorist raid military base in Borno, kill 8 soldiers, injured 23 others. You find that in page 3, 2, and 31 of that newspaper platform. That is all we have on this segment. Many thanks for being with me on this newspaper review. I hope you go grab your newspaper and read more of the stories and trendy stories happening in the country. Many thanks for being with me once again. I remain your humble host, Kings Ojalo. It's a bye for now.